people think watercolor pencils are about color, but if your drawing doesn't look right in gray, color won't fix it because the problem isn't the color, it's the lack of contrast. And most people are using watercolor pencils like colored pencils, focusing on fitting things in instead of building something solid from the start. Today I'm working from this reference of an elephant and her baby. They're naturally gray, which makes this exercise perfect, but you can do this with absolutely anything. Just turn your reference black and white, and you'll immediately start seeing what actually matters and what doesn't. These are water-soluble graphite pencils, not traditional watercolor pencils, but they behave the same way, and they're perfect for understanding how watercolor pencils really work, because here color is out of the equation, so we can focus on what actually matters, values. And in a set like this one, they come in ranges like HB to 8B, and once activated, you can see that you get everything from light grays to deep darks. Here are your values. That's the key. It's not color, it's intensity. And to keep it simple, you're gonna see I'm only ever using 2 pencils to draw and then turn it into paint. 4B for midtones and 8B for darks. And for the lightest values, we'll just dilute the 4B or we'll use the white of the paper. I start with a simple sketch, just placing the main outlines and a few important details like the eyes and the trunk. Nothing fancy, just enough to guide me. And then I go straight in with my 4B. But here is the important shift, and this is where most people go wrong. I'm not coloring here, I am placing values, and it'd be the same if I was using watercolor pencils. At first, I use very light pressure, barely touching the paper, with soft circular motions. Almost like I'm just mapping things out rather than trying to create something finished. And the goal is very simple. I look at my reference, I identify the areas that are not white or near white, and I place that information on the paper. Everything else I leave untouched for now, and that's it. And something really important here is the direction of your strokes. I'm always following the shape of what I'm drawing. And you can even see that my wrist is adapting as I move across the elephants. I'm not shading randomly in one direction. I'm following the form, and that's what creates the illusion of volume. It's not detail and especially not color. You'll also notice that in some areas, I press a bit more already, like between the legs or around the eye, because I know these areas will need to be darker in the final result, and they help me keep the sketch visible with where important things are at. But for the most part, I stay very light because this is just the foundation. I'm also leaving a bit more white than what I see in the reference, and that's intentional because I know that when I activate later, some pigment will naturally spread into those areas. So instead of trying to fix that afterward, I'm planning for it now. And keep in mind this is an example using graphite, but it's how I would approach it with color. And already notice that with just this very light layer, the elephants are starting to look convincing. That's a really important checkpoint because if it doesn't look good now, adding water won't fix it and color won't fix it either. So with this, I know I'm ready to bring in the 8B, and I start refining on top of that first layer. This is where you can be a bit more deliberate. For example, I adjust certain areas and I slowly build a stronger base. You can see things starting to shift, but not because I'm adding detail yet, as you can see. It's because I'm adding contrast and still really blocking in shapes rather than drawing something specific. The 8B is great to target those specific areas, the important ones in the reference. The eyes, for example, are the main features, or the areas where shapes connect or separate, like where the ear meets the head, and also small shadows that help define the shape of something like this ear. Take the tusk also. I want it to stand out against the white background. It's not color I need. It's contrast. Everywhere around it will be a bit too obvious, so just add a touch in key spots and that's enough to make it pop. I start suggesting texture with a few lines, especially on the trunk and parts of the head. But I'm never trying to do everything at once. This is still a foundation, just a more advanced one. I also push the shadows around the baby elephant so it separates more clearly from the mother. At this point, you can see also that nothing is blended, nothing is softened, but it already works as a pencil drawing. And that is what to look for with a medium like watercolor pencils before even activating anything. I still go back in with a 4B to smooth things out. So, for example, if I see areas where the transition between midtones and darks feels too harsh, I just add more 4B to bridge that gap and create better gradients. I might also reinforce certain areas where I feel like there's not enough pigment yet. And this is another important idea. You're not fixing mistakes, you're just refining. You're building on something that already makes sense thanks to contrast. Once everything feels cohesive and almost finished, because we have light, mid, and dark tones mapped out, I move on to activating the paint. I use a brush with clean water, and for watercolor pencils, you want to keep a paper towel nearby because with this medium, the brush is wet but not dripping. It makes activating a drawing way easier and more precise. And to make sure the painted version of this looks good, I always start by wetting the light areas first. This is very important because you'll see that when you touch the darker pigment, it's really going to melt into those light areas instead of you having to push the paint around. It's going to create much softer transitions and it's going to keep everything looking natural. When I activate watercolor pencils, whether it is color or graphite, I work section by section and I rinse my brush very often. This is especially important because here I'm using 8B, which is very dark. If I don't rinse my brush, I'll end up dragging that dark pigment into lighter areas and I will lose all the contrast I carefully built. And the goal here really is to just activate the drawing, not change anything about it. So remember that with watercolor pencils, you're not letting water take over. Very different from traditional watercolors. Water here is just to help to smooth things out quickly. And of course, depending on what you're painting, you can leverage the watercolor effects for other things like backgrounds, which I show in other videos. But in this one, I really just want you to see that contrast is the thing that matters and not color. So now what do we do after activating a drawing like this one? After a first activation like this, everything looks smoother and you can see the drawing turn into its painted version. There are no mess ups with the technique I just demoed. So now it's time to move on to the next stage, and this is where things become really interesting. Usually at this point, I go back in with my pencils on dry paper. So it's a stage that's great if you need to fix things. When it comes to this piece of art here, I'm good with all the light and midtones, but I feel like I could push the dark tones. So with the 8B, I reinforce the darkest areas, especially the main features and the deeper shadows. Because remember, these are what hold the whole drawing together. That goes for anything you might tackle. And immediately you can see how everything starts to come back stronger than before. Again, color has nothing to do with it. I activate these areas again with the same controlled technique in sections with a clean brush that is not too wet, and then I rinse frequently. And I always let the pigment melt naturally into the base of the painting by first wetting an area I haven't added pencil to. And now you can really see how rich these darks are and what it does to that painting. It really is what creates depth. That's why I love to use these water-soluble graphite kind. So when you have practiced and understood how contrast affects a painting, any painting, you can start thinking about detail. And with watercolor pencils or water-soluble pencils, you can use the pigment that's already on the brush to create subtle textures. Here, for example, I do it on the trunk and the forehead. It almost feels like painting with traditional watercolor because it's just using the brush here and pigment that's already melted into watercolor paint. Then what I like to do for detail is to dip the tip of a pencil, here the 8B, directly into water. to place melted pigment straight onto the paper in a very soft but very precise way, which is perfect for the deepest creases and small accents. If you need to, you can also lift some areas to get some of the light tones back, even though I don't find I really need it here. Just apply a bit of clean water and use a paper towel to remove some pigment. It's subtle, but it helps bring back light and it creates more variation in values. Finally, with a sharp pencil, I add a few crisp lines for texture and detail. And you can see I really use these pencils like regular graphite pencils. I can do that with watercolor pencils, use them like colored pencils. But because those touch-ups are integrated into everything else, it looks much more natural and refined. And that's where, for those of us who have a hard time understanding what watercolor pencils are for, you can really see how you get the best of both worlds between watercolor and colored pencils here. Also see now how color itself does not matter. Contrast does. Everything else comes afterwards. Color and even detail are just bonuses. So if watercolor pencils have ever felt frustrating, maybe don't start with color. Start with this. Build your values first, build your contrast, and move on to working with color later. I always appreciate comments, so if you enjoyed this, please leave one below. And if you want to go deeper with watercolor pencils and really learn how to use them to paint anything, I've created a full course where you'll find a lot more techniques, and I will make sure to link it in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time!